And now we begin Chapter 6. We get a brief break from all that solving of inequalities and equations. So ratios, that's what we're going to talk about today. A ratio is a comparison of two numbers or quantities. Typo right there, two numbers or quantities. A ratio can be written three ways. It can be written as a fraction, with a colon, or with the word to. So if I said, for example, a pitcher averaged pitching 16 pitches for every 3 batters, you could write it as a fraction, you could write it with a colon, or you could write it with the word to. So these all three mean the same thing. But in pre-algebra, we will always write them as fractions. So before we start talking about ratios, let's just remind ourselves how to reduce fractions. So if you're given a fraction like 8 over 10, you want to say, okay, is there a number that you can divide evenly into both 8 and 10? Well, they're both even numbers, so you can divide them both by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay, number 2, 2 over 26. Those are also both even numbers, so we can divide the 2 by 2 and get 1, and divide the 26 by 2 and get 13. Number 3. Those are both even, but it's helpful if you can see there's actually a bigger number than 2 that we can divide them both by. We can divide them both by 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 8 divided by 4 is 2. But before I move on to the next one, I want to point out that if you don't see right away that 4 will work, you can still get this correct by doing it in 2 steps instead of it in just 1 step. So it's okay if this happens. You might look at this and say, oh, they're both even. I'll just divide the top by 2. I'll divide the bottom by 2. It's okay as long as you recognize, oh wait, my answer still has 2 even numbers. So I can divide by 2 again and get 3 halves. So you see, you get the same answer either way. So it's okay, especially if there are some bigger numbers that you're not sure what you put or divide them by. You can do it in pieces at a time like I did in that second one. Okay, 4, 20 over 3. So you look and you say, all right, they're not both even, so maybe I could divide them both by 3. No, 3 won't go into 20 evenly. And I can't pick anything bigger than 3 because nothing bigger than 3 would go into 3. So it turns out this one cannot be simplified any further. It is already simplified. Okay, number 5. 10 and 5 are both divisible by 5. So I can do 10 divided by 5 is 2. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Number 6. There may be a bigger number, but I don't know. So I'm just going to say they're both even. So let's just divide them both by 2. 30 divided by 2 is 15. 14 divided by 2 is 7. And it turns out that's as far as we can go. There's nothing that will divide both 15 and 7 evenly, so our answer is 15 over 7. So again, that was just a review on how to simplify fractions, because this is almost always going to be the instructions you receive in this ratio section. It'll say write each ratio as a fraction in its simplest form. And notice with all of these, our units are different. Like this is cookies and children, cows and chickens, rolls of yarn and scarves, money and pieces of candy. So that's why I made a point at the beginning to say a ratio is a comparison of two numbers or two quantities. Okay, so you always just put the first number on top, the second number on the bottom. So I just do 4 over 3. And that will not reduce, so that is my answer. Okay, 9 over 6. I'm just writing it here first in case I need to reduce. It's okay if you write it over here and then just circle the right answer, but 9 and 6 can both be divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 9 says 8 rolls of yarn for 3 scarves. There's nothing that goes into both of those evenly. Well, just in case you're wondering, yes, 1 goes into everything evenly, but that doesn't change anything if you divide them by 1. So you just get 8 over 3. For number 10, it says $10 for 45 pieces of candy. So those are both divisible by 5. You know if it ends in a 0 or a 5, it's divisible by 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 45 divided by 5 is 9. Okay, one more problem. It's got multiple parts, but we're going to talk about how we can create ratios when we have a list of different things. So at Martha Rivers, they have 8 chain swings. I just mean regular swings by that. You know, the hanging from chains, you sit on them. 1 tire swing, 4 slides, and 3 tunnels. Express the ratio of the tire swings to the tunnels. And just in case you're wondering, yes, this is a real park near us. I have no idea what the real numbers are. I just made these up. I admit it. So express the ratio of tire swings. There's 1 of those. To tunnels. There's 3 of those. So I put the first thing, tire swings, on top. Second thing, tunnels, on the bottom. And that won't reduce, so that's our answer. Okay, B, express the ratio of chain swings. There's 8 of those. To slides. There's 4 of those. This one can be reduced. They're both divisible by 4. So we get 2 over 1. And I know this is equal to a whole number 2, but do not write it that way. As I said, or as it says here, write the ratio as a fraction. So your answer, even if it's just over 1, should always be a fraction. Yes, these are equal, but a ratio has to be a fraction. Okay, express the ratio of swings. Well, we have 2 kinds of swings. We have chain swings and tire swings. So for this, we need to add these 2 together. 8 plus 1 gives me 9. Express the ratio of swings, of which there are 9, to non-swings. So the non-swings are the 4 slides and the 3 tunnels. 4 plus 3 is 7. And that won't reduce any farther, so we just leave the answer that way. Okay, D. Express the ratio of the slides. Look up here. Okay, there's 4 slides. To the total number of pieces of playground equipment. Now, when they say total, that does mean everything. So we'll need to add up all of those, including the slides. So when they ask for a total, make sure you include everything. You don't leave out whatever's on top. You include everything. So 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. 13 plus 3 is 16. So this can be reduced. And they're both, we can divide them both by 4, so we get 1 over 4 as our final answer for part D.